Yeah.
So, what's your opinion about Trump election and the Trump campaign for him to be a president of United States of America?
So my opinion is, if my memory serves me correct, in the what was it, California or something election,
Yeah.
in between the candidates, that is, he was pretty discouraged because I think about 10,000 people made up to not support him, basically. My main question is that now we have the selection in between feminists who don't like men and then a anti-Muslim who does not like Muslims.
Yeah.
And that is a very bad choice in my opinion. Now, of course, because I'm Dane, I'm a Dane. I love what's his called for the Sanders. Sanders is a pretty good choice in my opinion, but he doesn't seem to have a very big shot. He has a big shot, but not big enough to be the president. And I think that is a pretty discouraging. What do you call it? And it's pretty discouraging because he's a very nice guy, and he seems to really care about the people. Not that many people care about the people. If you look at Trump, he goes at that this. He has a lot of experience with reality shows,
Yeah.
and he puts that in every damn speech he's in. He says ridiculous stuff because he knows that any kind of what do you call it? Whatever he says, if it has big enough an impact, it doesn't matter what impact it is. If it's negative or positive, it's still the same thing. And Hillary Clinton, she of course looks at this North American view we have these days about the feminists, that it's a great thing. But when you really look about third generation feminists, it's pretty much, you say feminist. It's about the feminine and discouraging the masculine. Of course, I don't say that the masculine is a bad idea, but there's a lot of
It's
negative.
not presented right.
Exactly. You look at these MRAs, men's rights associations, at the way they look at things. It's kind of right, but a bit wrong at the same time. What they need to do is really point out that the feminists in North America have a very great impact, greater of an impact that they should have. Of course, the females have been further behind than the male part in the past couple of centuries. But if you look at history, women have been in charge of the internal parts of families, when men have been in charge of the external parts, and the external parts is the most visible, and that's why people think, for example, women get the right of voting in 19 something, depending on what country. But what most people don't realize is that a lot of other people were in this category, like servants. Servants, male or female, did not have the right to vote. But the only thing we focus upon is the females, because the females is craving such a big attention. And they're getting a lot of attention for different reasons. One of the biggest ones is that they have boobs. I mean,
I'm serious.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, question.
yeah.
Donald Trump, in one of his campaigns, he said that if he gets elected,
He will build
he
a
will.
wall.
No, not exactly that.
Ah,
that
not?
he would bomb Denmark. This is because he was like, because Denmark government is so open-minded. Well, maybe not the current one, but the previous one, open-minded and like with open hands for people from other countries. And Denmark is a stable economy. And apparently Trump thinks Denmark is somehow bad, or
I'm pretty damn drunk right now. That's a part of being a Dane. You have to be drunk all the fucking time, otherwise you can't be sociable.
oh, that's why you stopped for us, huh?
Definitely, it's a part of
have answered our question if you weren't drunk.
my,
If you're doing just your everyday life.
my,
well,
my answer would be the question does not matter, because it's a part of how popular the candidate is. We basically now got, there are other answers, but we basically now got Hillary, who hates men, and Trump, who hates Muslims. which I already said.
And Mexicans.
And Mexicans. The problem with that is that Donald Trump promises many great things, but the thing is, he's about how popular it is. He uses his experience from reality shows to say absurd things, because being popular for negative things is just as well as being popular for good things. It means you're popular. That means people will vote for you. But
Just because they have seen your face on the TV many times.
Definitely. And it's the exact same thing with Hillary Clinton. Right now in America you got this two-party policy, which, because I'm a Dane, we got a many-party policy, I'm pretty much against. And the problem with Hillary is she hates everything men stand for. She puts the view of the few men who are like the jocks and whatever, who just want to get with as many girls as they want. The problem is that is not the appropriate portray of